Good evening and welcome to Northeast Delta Dental Stadium, the home of the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. My name is Josh DeRocher. I'm the Activities Director at Goffstown High School, and I will be your host for the evening. We will begin tonight's commencement ceremony with the traditional playing of Pomp and Circumstance. Graduates, please stand and wave to your friends and family in the stands. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome to the podium the president of the Goffstown High School class of 2020, Kevin Busiak.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for Maya Witten's singing of the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose proud stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Maya. Please welcome our very proud Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Brian Balke.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the Goffstown High School graduation for the class of 2020. I'd like to thank a few folks before we begin. I'd like to thank the Fisher Cats organization, the City of Manchester, the Manchester Police Department, the Health Department, and AMR, the ambulance service. Thank you so much to all of them. I'd also like to welcome our state senator, Senator Lou D'Alessandro, and his wife Pat, who are up in the top. Thanks for being with us, Senator. We appreciate your being here. You know, guys, this took a lot of work to pull off, and I'd like to thank the team from Goffstown High School who did all the heavy lifting on this. Principal McBride, Assistant Principal McCann, Mr. Huft, Mrs. Lewis, Mr. DeRocher, just a wonderful team that they worked so hard to make this happen for you guys. Please show your appreciation to them. I'd also like to thank Goffstown Television, Mr. Adam McCune, who is live streaming this on YouTube and Facebook Live for all the families that weren't able to be here tonight who can still be with all of us here. So I'd like to ask the graduates, please show your love and affection for your family that's here and all the people that are watching online. Let's hear it. Oh, come on, guys. We're Goffstown. You can do better than that. Come on. Much better. Thank you. So, graduates, I know that I speak for all of your families when I say congratulations. We're proud of you. Make good choices. Don't do anything foolish this evening. Please, let's have everyone stay safe. Please always know that you are loved and you always have a home at Goffstown High School. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Balke. And please welcome back to the podium Kevin Busiak for his third honors address.
Thank you. I believe that every person has a different experience in high school. Some people will say it was the best 4 years of their life. Others will say they hated every second of it. But that's the beauty of school. It's only what you make of it. The trick of school is finding the fun in the pain, the happiness in the sad, the good times hidden in the tough times. I believe that anything you do in life, no matter how hard or serious it may be, if you cannot find joy in doing it, it's just not worth doing. Even during the most difficult times, the drawn-out lessons of random subjects, the endless nights of homework which sometimes ended in tears, the painfully early mornings of meetings, all were made tolerable because of the people with me during my time spent at GHS. Through the mundaneness that can sometimes be high school, moments happen that are unforgettable. These memories are created because they are the fun in school. They are the happiness that broke the chain of work. I'll always remember the beginning of every AP Spanish class when Senora McKinnon would ask us to pull out the homework, and Atticus Lambert would very quickly realize that there was homework assigned last night, which of course he did not do. I'll remember Joe Webb and I always being the first students to volunteer to grab the computer cart for our chemistry class so we could practice our 360 cart spins in the hallway. I'll remember leaving my prep to hang out with Tim Lizotte in his English class instead of doing any actual work, much to the dismay of Mrs. Posen. I'll remember going to Isaac Borges' house for skit writing, where we sat alone in a dark room together for hours on end, analyzing the complex organization of the kingdom in the Disney movie Cinderella. I'll remember the early release trips to McDonald's with Derek Stekowicz, where we would pound Big Macs and discuss our day. And of course, I will remember writing a reggae rap song with Eliza Heathfield and Mark Lajeunesse about the rules of deriving and anti-deriving in our calculus class. And it's so much more than just those memories. I want to thank everyone who has helped me and guided me on my path through high school. These people did not just teach me new things or instruct me on how to live my life. They were the happiness during my years of high school. Of course, I have to thank my family, the backbone in my life. Mom and Dad, I want to thank you for everything, and just wanted to let you know, Dad, that I did feed the chicken this morning. Katie, I want to thank you for being the coolest big sister and for always feeling welcome to hang out with me and my friends whenever you want, sometimes even without me. To my friends, I want to thank you for letting me be myself and feeling free to do the same. Tim, Derek, Dan, Atticus, Jackson, Renaud, Pat, Mark, Joe, Isaac, Sean, Casey, Caleb. I could keep going, but someone is going to read off everyone's names later, so I don't need to do that now. To my girlfriend, Lainey, I want to thank you for being there for me emotionally and always being my sunshine. To my teachers, and there were many of you, I want to thank you for giving me the tools I will need later in life and giving me the respect not just of a student trying to learn, but as an actual person with feelings and ideas. I want to give thanks to Mrs. Posen, Mr. Perret, Senor Fitz, Mr. Galloway, Miss Brown, Senor McKinnon, Mr. Chachos, Mr. McDermott, Mr. Ward, Mr. Chadbourne, Mrs. Fleck, Mrs. Lucier, Mr. Mayotte, and of course, Romaine, who I still need to brawl with at some point in New York. Beyond individuals who brought me happiness in high school, I want to thank my extracurricular activities. My student council, who so graciously chose me as their leader this past year, taught me how a group of people, no matter how small, can have a real effect on others. To my lacrosse team, whom I unfortunately did not get to have my senior season with, I want to thank you for showing me what it means to have endurance and for teaching me how to protect a bottle of red Gatorade when walking down the aisle of a bus full of seniors. Everyone I've mentioned, along with the many others I haven't here today, all did something to me. They all made me happy, even if it was enjoying their company every day, hanging out with them constantly, or just passing by them in the hallway and exchanging a smile. They made school worth it because they made it fun. High school is over, but the memories and experience we all gained from it are going to stay with us forever, and of that I have no doubt. There is no question that the class of 2020 is unique in every meaning of the word, but there is no group of kids I would rather be talking to right now in a dress and square hat about what the heck just happened in that building we call GHS. So class of 2020, go out. Find happiness in everything you do. No matter the challenge, never forget to have fun with it. The world is yours from here on out. I hope nothing but the best for all of your futures, and I hope that our paths continue to intersect for years to come. After all, how am I supposed to have fun without any of you around? Thank you.
Thank you again, Kevin. While public health recommendations discourage live music at tonight's ceremony, your talented classmates have been working behind the scenes to participate virtually. Please turn your attention to the Jumbotron and enjoy Sine Nomine by Ralph Vaughan Williams, arranged for our band and orchestra by our own Mr. Douglas McKernan. Thank you, musicians. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome Brandon Korn to the podium, for the salutatory address.
Try to fit in. Follow the rules. Do what you're told. Play it safe. Wait your turn. Ask permission. Do it like it's always been done. This is horrible advice. In a unique year of commencement, where our senior memories are being stripped away from us by an uncontrollable force, we have no choice. We have to make our own memories. The memories that we will hold on to from our teenage years, our senior summer, the rest of our lives, when we look back at it 20 years in the future, will not be what is handed to us. Instead, it will be what we create. I have learned through my time at GHS that I don't remember what goes on every day. When my parents sit me down at dinner every night and ask what I learned at school, I genuinely do not know. Now, I am not saying that I have not learned anything at my time at GHS. However, I might tell my teachers that it is not true. Nothing really sticks out from high school in an everyday environment that is memorable. We, as seniors, instead, remember the unique high school experiences spent among our peers and classmates. We remember the late nights practicing for the class dance. We remember the whiteouts at the basketball and football games. We remember serenading our classmates on Valentine's Day. Rest in peace. Regardless, we remember the unusual. I can get into the science of it, but after 4 years of high school, I am really tired of science. But to think of it, through your time growing up, the things you remember are not normal. For example, I sent 3 of my teachers games of 8-ball during this ceremony already. I certainly think they won't forget that. Play me back, by the way. Or the fact that people can invoke trauma into my life at any point with 2 words, carbohydrates, baby. It's the stuff you need. The unexpected, abnormal, and outright different experiences that we have throughout high school are what we remember. My classmates question why I dragged them to sports games. My road trip buddies cast doubt upon how I can plan a beach day with 30 minutes in advance with no prior warning. My friends complain when I text them at 9 p.m. saying that we're going out to get food. However, after these experiences occur, the whining usually stops. This is because when we put ourselves in an uncomfortable or unfamiliar situation, the most interesting experiences can sprout from them. By being spontaneous, it can create opportunities for unforgettable memories. By not going to sports games, we would not have witnessed the incredible moments that our classmates have blessed us with. From the game-winning Wilton Geisenheimer fumble recovery touchdown against Pinkerton, to Colby Gamanche's clutch hat trick against Merrimack. From Kelly Walsh scoring 1,000 points in front of all of us, to Jackson DeBrule's insane game-winning goal against Portsmouth. We have had plenty of incredible moments that we have witnessed in the stands at GHS. However, we do not only remember the good, unusual moments throughout our time at GHS. We also remember the bad, unusual. We will remember the people that bullied us. We will remember the heartbreak after losing homecoming for 2 straight years. And most of all, we will all remember our senior year being cut short. For this reason, we must be conscious of how our actions affect others. By doing the unusual, we not only create memories for ourselves, but we also create memories for others. We become remembered. For this reason, we must take active steps to become remembered in a positive light. Our generation has the power to be remembered, but it is our choice on how we are remembered. I'll end this speech with a quote from Casey Neistat. The haters, the doubters, are all drinking champagne on the top deck of the Titanic, and we are the iceberg. By doing the unusual, we become the iceberg they can't forget. However, it is up to us to determine how that iceberg is perceived. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. And now please turn your attention to the Jumbotron for You Will Be Found from the musical Dear Evan Hansen, sung by our select vocal ensemble and featuring a retrospective of the past 3 months, curated by our own Ms. Tina Philibot.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. And every time that you call out, you're a little less alone. If you only say the words across the silence, your voice is heard. Someone will come running. Someone will come running. Someone will come
Goffstown High School class of 2020, I am here to celebrate you as you honor the outstanding athletes, actors, musicians, volunteers, all the service people. This has been an amazing experience for all of you, and you've been trained to get out there and do something good in the world. So know that the world is waiting for creativity and leadership. And I hope you're ready to step in these new shoes, because celebrate today, but tomorrow is a new day. And get ready, because the world needs all of you. A big hug and kiss to you all. It's Debbie Allen.
Thank you, Select Vocal Ensemble, and thank you, Ms. Philibot. At this time, it is my privilege to welcome Catherine Lewis to the podium for the valedictory address.
Thank you. This was not the ending we all envisioned, even though 2020 is supposedly perfect vision. We didn't get the chance to leave our final mark at GHS. We missed our final seasons of spring sports, our final performances in the Heber Theater, our last day of school, our last prom, and so much more. No one knew that March 13th would be our last day in that building as a Grizzly, and we didn't get a proper goodbye. Despite this unconventional ending, we managed to grow from the freshmen that clumped in the gym lobby in the mornings to graduates ready to enter the world. The past 4 years are filled with memories within the walls of GHS and the extracurricular activities that we devoted our time to. We are all so unique and talented in our own ways, which allowed us to learn from each other and grow into the people who we are today. We are often told that we are the most accepting generation in history. This may seem like a compliment to our nature, but it is actually a responsibility we must uphold. Our world is changing right before our eyes. 2020 alone has presented a lifetime of challenges to face in just 1 year. The year started with devastating fires across Australia, and a few weeks after, COVID-19 began to spread rapidly across the nation and the globe. At the beginning of the pandemic, the media was flooded with messages along the lines of, "You got this," and "We're all in this together." But the longer we stayed in our homes, the harder it became to maintain this sense of unity. Even the simple act of going to the grocery store disrupted our solidarity, as each shopper judged one another on their mask-wearing habits. On top of everything that has happened this year, our nation is still fighting for justice on racial issues that have been present since well before the birth of our country. It is not even halfway through the year, and our people have been split into 1 million subdivisions, disputing every bit of news that comes our way. So far, our chapter in the history books is a series of unfortunate events. But 2020 is not over yet, and we have the power to come together to make change. Our generation is unique because we celebrate diversity and promote the inclusion of everyone. As we embark on the world, it is our job to use our voice and share the wisdom we have adopted from our accepting nature. We also need to remind ourselves to be observant of our surroundings. Listening to others is just as important as sharing our own beliefs, and we shouldn't be afraid to adapt our opinions when presented with new information. Change results from diverse people with varying backgrounds coming together to accomplish a shared goal, and we must rely on each other in order to remedy the challenges we are bound to fight. We are already doing the work of unification by being here tonight as we celebrate all we have accomplished and prepare for our future endeavors. Once we leave this stadium, we have a big role to fill. But if we remain united, we will have the power to conquer any obstacle we may face. Before I go, I want to say thank you. Thank you to the people who made this event possible. A few weeks ago, I thought I would be giving this speech on Zoom, and I am very thankful to have an in-person goodbye. Thank you to the faculty and staff who worked so hard to get us through these last 12 years, and for providing us a safe space to learn and grow. Thank you to the families and friends who gave us love and nurtured us into the people who we are today. A big thank you to all the essential workers who fought to keep us safe while our nation was dealing with hardships. And finally, thank you to the class of 2020. After all the yard signs and Zoom calls, we did it. Every class has a story, but ours is definitely one that will be remembered forever. I know it was hard to end high school this way, but we are lucky to have the chance to be here tonight to close this chapter of our lives together. We may not have been able to leave our final mark at GHS, but it is now time to make our mark on the world. And while 2020 wasn't as perfect as we envisioned, I believe our vision is perfect. Good luck on your future journeys, be kind to people, and congratulations.
Thank you, Katie. Please join me in welcoming tonight's final speaker, the principal of Goffstown High School, Mr. Frank McBride.
Good evening. I don't typically recommend this, but I'm going to give it a whirl first. I was last at Goffstown High School at Winter Carnival. I would have never thought after bus duty at Winter Carnival that that was it for my year at GHS in the building. One thing I know for sure, and I don't typically give advice at graduation, is make sure you pick a job that fits you. I spent 2 years after St. A's living in Boston, love Boston, do not love cubicles. But it was something that you have to figure out. Zoom. Like, I didn't really know a lot about Zoom, and I've spent my last 3 months, like most of you, Zooming. I'm going to get back on script. I just want to say, and I've said it often, I miss you very much. I think I could have done a better job of connecting more with you via video. For that, I apologize. I do miss you tons. I'm going to forget and miss a lot of people with thank yous, but a few quick ones for today at least. The Flanagans and the Divines, the main entrance, great job. Thank you so much. Fisher Cat Stadium, as mentioned, Stephanie and her whole team, they've been spectacular to deal with. Thank you, Fisher Cats. Mr. Balke loves fireworks. Thank you, Mr. Balke. I did not know that. And Mr. Gross is just not your average business administrator, so things like the flags downtown, the t-shirts that your parents have for you when you go back tonight. We'll talk more at another time about a t-shirt cannon that almost happened. It was a really good theory, bad during a pandemic, but we do have it. And there were so many other little details that he did and he helped with to make sure that you're able to know that we cared about you if we couldn't get together, and now it's just a special bonus that we could. So I'm going back on script. It's really good to be here. It is my pleasure to be with all of you this evening celebrating the commencement of Goffstown High School, class of 2020. Thank you once again to Brandon, Kevin, and Katie. Great job with your remarks. Well done. A few additional thank yous. Our quality year-end virtual ceremonies and tonight's live event would not be possible without the support of Goffstown Television. And as Mr. Balke said, I would like to recognize, again, the leader of GTV, Mr. Adam McCune. And surround yourself with good people. He has done that. David Steffen, his studio tech who's in the box today, spectacular job. And he was also the person who helped with baccalaureate. Very well done, and thank you, David. And the whole GTV team. Broden, you as well. Thank you. 3 critical members of my administrative team have really worked 2 or 3 jobs for the last month. I would like to recognize them at this time. Miss Joyce Lewis Director of School Counseling, incredibly smart daughter of the valedictorian. Ms. Lewis, thank you for all you've done for making these events happen. Thank you, Joyce. She's behind home plate. Kim McCann is the ingredient of the secret sauce in Goffstown High School. Kim McCann does everything. She's up. So if you didn't see what Mr. Delisandro was before, Miss McCann's right behind her. So make sure, again, big round of applause for Miss McCann. Justin Huft, our talented athletic director and person who coordinated, organized, and literally and figuratively touched every piece of each year-end event, particularly this event. Even today, himself and his son Nicholas put every sticker on the back of your chair. Mr. Huff is a special person. You do not win Division I football championships in the state of New Hampshire without being good at details, and he is spectacular, and we're lucky to have him. Mr. Huff, thank you so much. Up in the box. And my good friend, Mr. DeRocher, former Music Educator of the Year, Activities Director. He's going to be having a baby soon. He's a pretty busy guy, but thank you for doing the emceeing. That's my nice way of saying thank you for emceeing. He could spend days to put together a 3-minute video, and you would not know that unless you ever tried to put together a video. So again, Mr. D does so much always, but for the year-end ceremonies, music has been such a big part of these events, so a huge round of applause to my good friend, Mr. Josh DeRocher. I'm almost at the students, but a few biggies. Additionally, there are 3 staff members who will be leaving with you this evening. I would like to recognize them. The Lamberts. First, Nate Lambert, outstanding biology teacher for the past 16 years. His wife, Bridget, smart, savvy administrative assistant for the last 12 years. And Atticus, a 2020 grad, they're getting up next week and they're heading to Florida with just a few items, and they're starting a new life and new adventure in Florida. So thank you and congratulations for all your contributions. And lastly, Mr. Douglas McKernan. Doug graduated from Goffstown High School 50 years ago. He then left for Durham. 4 years later, he came back with a degree from the University of New Hampshire in music education. For the last 46 years, Mr. McKernan has been the leader of the band, anchoring our performing arts department. Of note as well, GHS celebrated 25 years of musical theater this year, a program created and grown by Doug. This evening, Mr. McKernan and his wife, to my right, way off to my right, are enjoying their last Goffstown High School commencement as a formal member of the Goffstown High School community. Please join me now in showing our appreciation for Mr. Doug McKernan for a half-century of contributions to Goffstown High School. Thank you, Mr. McKernan. Now the class of 2020. At this time, I will recognize the 7 additional members who make up the Goffstown High School class of 2020 top 10. Joining Katie, who's heading off to Georgetown University, and Brandon, who's going to Northeastern University, and Kevin, who's going to Syracuse University, are number 4. And when I recognize you, please stand. And why don't top 10 stay standing together as a group? Number 4, Nasargi Mehta, heading to WPI. Number 5, Katie Donovan, St. Anselm College. Number 6, Joseph Webb, University of Vermont. Number 7, Tyler Bichard, Clarkson University. Number 8, Joseph McNeil, also heading to WPI. Number 9, Elizabeth Ashford, George Mason University. And number 10, Kyle Dubois, University of Connecticut. Congratulations. No rehearsal. Yeah, you guys sit now. There we go. I will continue my tradition of recognizing the next 10 students in the graduating class as well. Number 11, Emma Strong, University of Rhode Island. And I'd ask again, why don't the top next 10 stay standing together? Number 12, Olivia Brannon, Coastal Carolina University. Number 13, Catherine Carlson, University of New Hampshire. Number 14, Kaylee Johnson, University of New Hampshire. Number 15, Paige Robinson, Southern New Hampshire University. Number 16, Natalie LaPointe, Dean College. Number 17, Savannah Schaefer, College of the Holy Cross. Number 18, Elena Winrow, University of New Hampshire. Number 19, Max Fragos, University of New Hampshire. And number 20, Davis Balke, Binghamton University. And a little special something about Davis, if you didn't know, that he allowed me to share. When freshman year, first semester ended, he was 118th in his class, and then some really good parenting happened, and bang, he's 20. So congratulations again, Davis. Well done. Yeah. I'm kidding. That was all Davis. Congratulations. Please join me now in thanking the following individuals who have chosen to serve our country through military service. First, United States Army. And I don't believe everyone's here, but please stand if you are. Christian Danboyce. United States Army, Matthew Fielder. United States Army, Ben Hamill. United States Army, Tyler Summerer. United States Army National Guard, Wyatt Hooker. United States Air Force, Jacob Smith. United States Air Force, Madison Gentis. And a quick note on Madison, and I think very important, a key member of 2 bowling state championships, missed a 3rd title by a whisker this year, losing in the 7th game to Pinkerton Academy. The very following week, it's the individual tournament. She bowled, and she was the number 2 bowler in the state of New Hampshire. And if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to your own teammate. So Jake Howell from Goffstown Jr. was the state champion. So again, congratulations to Madison Gentis. United States Coast Guard, Colby Gamache. United States Marine Corps, Esteban Cabello. United States Marine Corps, Thomas T.J. Dudden. United States Marine Corps, Colin Lasella. United States Marine Corps, Norwood Dennis. United States Navy, Kobe Gregoire. I will now recognize the following groups for their state championship level performances. Please rise to be acknowledged when I call your group. First, Destination Imagination Teams. Future Business Leaders of America. our all-state musicians. Our first robotics Team 501 Power Knights, a lot of success this year. Our equestrian team, state championship. Our Gold Key artists, New Hampshire Scholastic Art Awards. Our bowling team. Our boys soccer team. And I'll give us, I can't see with my reading glasses, but is that Miles over there? Miles, stand up, please. Is that, stay standing, stay standing. Hard to win a state championship. That was a 0-0 game. Miles was this skinny, lanky freshman, and I was like, who's that guy in net? It was Miles Green. In overtime, 0-0 game against Lev, there was this shot that came from like 30 yards out. He reaches up and he tips it, barely hits it, hits the bar, goes over, and then in a shootout, we take home a state champion. And voted by the officials, the player of the tournament was the skinny little freshman, Miles Green. So congratulations, Miles. And last but definitely not least, our girls basketball Division I co-champions this year. Congratulations, girls basketball Division I. Now some special individual recognitions. Alex Estano has 3 individual Division II state titles in swimming. Congratulations, Alex. Connor Hyzak was recently named the 2020 New Hampshire Gatorade Player of the Year, and that means there's one player, there's 86 baseball teams in the 4 divisions, and there's only one player selected, and that was Connor Hyzak. Congratulations, Connor. Connor's going to play Division I baseball at the Virginia Commonwealth University. Kelly Walsh, 2020 Division I Girls Basketball Player of the Year. Kelly Walsh. Kelly, stay standing, please. She leaves Goffstown High School as the all-time leading basketball scorer, both boys and girls, with a total of 1,780 points. Congratulations, Kelly Walsh. Heading to Babson. Georgia Schill. Georgia's work unspoken in the Scholastic Art Awards won 3 huge honors: National Gold Medal, National American Vision Award for New Hampshire, and New York Life Scholarship. Congratulations to Georgia Schill. And my last individual one, and definitely not least, Maya Whidden. Please stand. You've seen Maya on the screen a few times tonight already, a 4-year All-State vocalist. She had the top score this year in the All-State Jazz, and she has what I would call a rare blend. She's a top performer on the stage and a top performer behind the stage. She's a master techie in sound, lighting, set design, and I thought this was so appropriate. Just recently won the Grizzly Mission Award for her quiet leadership, dependability, and humility. Congratulations, Maya Whidden. And I have shortened my remarks this evening so my friend and colleague who's sitting behind me and local historian, Mr. Andy Pishka, can attempt to provide context to this most unique and historical time that we are all living in. And for those of you who do not know him, Mr. Pishka is a beloved history teacher at Goffstown High School and has been for the last 4 years. Prior, he taught at Mountain View Middle School for 22 years. He's the lead teacher, one of our lead teachers in our social studies department. He's the vice president of the Goffstown the Goffstown Historical Society, and he's currently the Daughters of the American Revolution New Hampshire American History Teacher of the Year. So please join me now as we welcome to the podium Mr. Andy Pishka.
Thank you for those kind words and for the opportunity to be here tonight. It's an honor. To the class of 2020, I see you and I appreciate you. You have been through so much. And now you get to listen to me on graduation night. Sometimes life is not fair. I have an important announcement before we start. My mom is watching this on the live stream, so at the end, just be kind. I was asked to give some historical perspective about the past 3 months and the end of your senior year. I would like to start by sharing 2 personal observations about the COVID quarantine and then move on to the historical perspective. Here's my first observation. It's important that I be truthful with you. Over the past 3 months, I've become somewhat addicted to TikTok. I downloaded the app as a joke. I cannot stop watching it. During remote learning, I'd be taking quick TikTok breaks. Now, I want you to believe that they were 20 minutes, but if you have ever scrolled through TikTok, you know that is a lie. Here's my second observation. I don't know if this happened to any of you, but about 3 weeks into the quarantine, I started to look at the world differently. I thought I could fix things. And when I say I started to look at the world differently, I mean I started looking at my house differently, and I wanted to fix things. Now understand, I have no ability to fix things at all. So COVID-19 had some mystical powers. One of the things that malfunctioned the 3rd week was our bathroom scale. I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but by April 3rd, that thing was off by 5 to 10 pounds consistently. Now, I tried to fix it, and I was getting really frustrated. So my wife just said, I'm going to take care of it. So she went to Amazon Prime. She placed an order. The package came the next day. She got me this Garmin watch. It tracks your activity. The scale is still broken. There's power in understanding the past, to learn from it, and to apply it to whatever it is you're going through in the present. I would like to share some historical perspective about epidemics and pandemics, focusing in on positive changes that have occurred during difficult times. I divided these remarks into 4 themes: the Iditarod sled dog race in Alaska, the U.S. dime, Dr. Maurice Hilleman, and Alexa Skinner. To set the mood, I want to read quotes from U.S. newspapers about the disease. Quote number 1, "The whole city is in a state of alarm on account of the infection. It is the subject of every conversation at every hour and in every business." Quote 2, "The disease that consumes New York is contagious and fatal beyond what has been known in America for a century." Quote number 3, "The order to close all schools, churches, and places where large numbers of people gather will be lifted." Those quotes come from 1795, 1798, and 1918. They talk about the yellow fever epidemic and the Spanish flu pandemic. It would appear that this is not the first time that we have experienced this in the United States. I believe that most of you knew that. So here's the question. Is it possible that there could be positive changes during difficult times? I love it when we face difficult times in this country and people step up. They demonstrate self-sacrifice for the greater good. They increase their civic engagement. People start helping their communities. Case in point, in January 1925, the small town of Nome, Alaska, was in the middle of a diphtheria epidemic. Diphtheria is a childhood disease that causes serious infection and death. Now, the vaccine for diphtheria was created in 1921, 4 years before the Nome epidemic. But Nome was in short supply of the vaccine serum. And what they had was expired. The roads and waterways were not passable during the winter, so they could not get resupplied. It was an emergency. How could they save the people of Nome? The community members of Alaska came up with a solution. 20 teams of sled dogs with their mushers leaped into action and transported the supply of the vaccine serum 674 miles through ice, snow, and negative 60-degree temperatures. And they did it in 6 days. By mid-February, the epidemic had been halted. That act of self-sacrifice and community inspired the creation of the Iditarod sled dog race in commemoration of the efforts to get the serum to Nome. People helping their communities. In 1952, the worst polio epidemic in the history of the United States hit and inflicted 57,000 people with the disease. Polio is life-threatening and causes paralysis. The situation became so dire that the medical and health workers did not have the equipment or the money to help the patients. In response, an organization which had been founded by President Franklin Roosevelt stepped in to help. Roosevelt, as you know, was stricken with polio as a young adult. President Roosevelt would not survive to see his organization succeed in donating $25 million and the equipment needed to fight the polio epidemic of 1952. So how did this organization raise all that money? President Roosevelt made an appeal to the American people in the 1930s to become civically engaged and donate money to the cause. Roosevelt believed that if each American donated one dime, that a cure could be found for polio. People started sending their dimes to the president right at the White House. The fundraising campaign and his organization became known as the March of Dimes. After Roosevelt's death, the U.S. government decided to commemorate his life by placing his likeness on the dime. In 1957, a doctor named Maurice Hilleman became the first person in history to predict a pandemic. He realized that an influenza pandemic had started in Hong Kong, and he predicted that it was going to come to the United States. People in the U.S. government thought his predictions were crazy. They didn't believe him. So he went around them and went to the 6 biggest drug companies in the United States, gave them a sample of the virus, and asked them to make his vaccine. And they did. Close to 70,000 people died in that pandemic. Public health officials believe that that number would have been closer to 1 million had it not been for Dr. Hilleman. People helping their communities. In the spring of 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic hit the United States. Past pandemics, as we have seen, have fueled the growth of civic engagement, people helping their communities. Some of the most significant moments in the history of our nation have arisen as a result of these difficult times. These difficult times often inspire young citizens like you to demand more. A great example of that would be Alexa Skinner. During the quarantine, Alexa sought to give a voice to your class. As most of you know, Alexa and others started a virtual petition that stated their desire to have the class of 2020 graduate in a ceremony similar to this. Her words are powerful. Quote, "This was supposed to be our year. We deserve a day where both family and friends can celebrate our success and accomplishments. No one would have predicted that March 13th would be our last day in Goffstown High School. The class of 2020, just like any other class, is deserving of a graduation. We are a class of talent, whether it's athletics, performing arts, music, art, and the numerous clubs and activities our class has started. Every single member of this graduating class deserves to be recognized for all their hard work and accomplishments." Well said, Alexa. Like Alexa, we all need to continue to be civically engaged during this pandemic. I recently heard some people saying that we were all in the same boat during this quarantine. I don't see it that way. I think we were in the same storm, but different boats. Documenting what you experience is one of the most valuable things you can do for our country and our community. It's a way for all of us to be civically engaged. Your stories about COVID-19 and the quarantine are unique, valuable resources for future people in our community, state, and nation. Everyone's story will be a little different, so you need to share yours. Don't wait. In the coming weeks, take time to write down or open the voice memo app on your phone and record your experience before it gets fuzzy. Take those historical documents that you create and send them to your local historical society. I guarantee they will preserve them and make them part of their collection because your voices matter. I'll go a step further. If you document how COVID-19 has impacted your lives and send it to me through email, I'll preserve it for your class. In 5 years, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, November 19th, 2025, I'm inviting you back to Goffstown High School. I'm inviting you back to Goffstown High School. And we will celebrate you. We will revisit what you went through and how it impacted your life after high school. At that point, you should be able to stand and sit next to one another, shake hands, and hug. To the COVID class of 2020, work hard, have fun, be safe, share your story, and remember, my mom is watching this.
Special teacher. How about another big round of applause for Miss Andy Pishka? To the class of 2020, I speak for the entire Goffstown High School staff. We wish you and your families all the best in your futures. In this year, more than ever, as Mr. Pishka said, please do not be strangers. Find your way back to Goffstown High School. You will absolutely always be welcome. I will promise you that. And once again, congratulations on a job very well done. Well done. And I wanted to make sure I had the opportunity. So joining Mr. DeRocher for the presentation of the diplomas will be my good friend and colleague and former counselor of the year in the state of New Hampshire, Mr. John Webb. So thank you so much, Mr. Webb and Mr. DeRocher. Presentations of the diplomas will now occur.
Thank you, Mr. McBride, and thank you, Mr. Pishka. As Mr. McBride said, it is time for our individual recognition of the members of the class of 2020. And normally we spend a whole day practicing to capture this moment. So let me tell you how this is going to go. Mr. Webb, who again was the 2018 New Hampshire Guidance Counselor of the Year, would you please join me towards the graduates for our pre-flight instructions? All right, in a moment, when we call your names, with your attention focused on the Jumbotron, your slide will show, your name will be read, and you should stand, holding your diploma if you'd like, and then you're going to look at a camera so that we can capture the moment zoomed in for your families in the stands. Here are my directions. If you are sitting from first base to second base, you're going to look towards the dugout. If you are sitting between second base and third base, you're going to look towards the dugout over there. Everybody else on the field, you'll be looking at the pitcher's mound at Broden. And then we should be able to catch you. So let's practice with our friend Mr. Webb. Control booth whenever you are ready. Mr. John Webb. All right, thank you, Mr. Webb. I think we are ready. We will begin with the top 10 and the class officers and proceed alphabetically from there.
Catherine Allison Lewis. Brandon M. Korn. Kevin Eric Busiak. Naisargi M. Mata. Katie Rose Donovan. Tyler Allen Bichard. Joseph M. McNeil. Joseph M. Sorry. Joseph Douglas Webb. Elizabeth Marie Ashford. Kyle Colby DuBois. Elena Marie Byron. Sarah Nicole Allen. Maria Alquicera Avila. Joseph J. Altobello. Elliot J. Anderson. Kelvin Vlastimil Anders. Paige Marie Armstrong. Kyle Auditor. Olivia G. Baldiga.
Davis Addison Balke. Elena Marie Barber. Ralph Reed Barrett. Colby Joseph Bartolucci. Benjamin Carl Barton. Cameron Chase Batista. Kevin Samuel Batty. Brad Miles Baxter. Caitlin Rose Boschman. Julia Sarah Beliveau. Morgan Mary Bennett. Hayden A. Bernard. Brian Christopher Berthium. Tegan Delaney Bivacqua. Michael J. Bill. Jacob Merritt Bliven. Elijah Gabriel Bover. Owen David Bonneville. Isaac C. Borges. Cameron Ryan Borvik. Shaylin Marie Boodle.
Cameron Michael Bork. Kaylin R. Boudelet. Olivia Madeline Brannon. Dimitri Alexander Brazil. Sierra Elaine Briscoe. Emily M. Broder. Cole R. Brotherton. Miles Andrew Brome. Noah Bernard Bryson. Alexis P. Buffum. Chloe M. Burnham. Cameron Robert Burns. Janessa Lee Bird. Esteban Cabello. Daniel William Calhoun. Keaton T. Callender. Catherine Rosamund Carlson. Riley Page Kate. Corey Elise Chamberlain. Wenzu Allen Chen.
Aiden W. Chenard. Taylor Ann Cerniglario. Caitlin Rose Cogswell. Kendra Gail Cooley. Jason David Cody Jr. Caleb A. Cotnor. Kale Lee Coulomb. Evan Lucas Daigle. Christian K. Damboys. Luke S. Damboys. Emily Jane Daniels. Jamie Elizabeth Danklefs. Lauren Ashley Davis. Reagan Lee Delisle. Olivia Sarita Demates. Bradley Scott Demers. Norwood Dennis. Megan Ann Dolores. Jared Adam Devine. Emily R. Diamantopoulos.
Destiny Angelina Diaz. Wally Jones Diaz. Errol Divanafendic. Emily Catherine Doherty. Constantine A. Domnasoro. Natalie Rose Doucette. Lily Elizabeth Draper. Cameron Connor Dubois. Jackson Everett Dubrule. Thomas George Dutton. Alicia P. Duval. Chloe E. Duval. Ryan W. Edgar. Lucas Aaron Edwards. Alexander Charles Estano. Tiago Mora Fanticelli. Caleb Matthew Farron. Matthew R. Fielder. Quincy Tanyan Fitz. Riley Kathleen Flanagan.
Got it. Riley Fontaine. Tyler James Forand. Brianna Marie Fowler. Nathaniel Robert Fowler. Max D. Fregos. Marissa Jane Fighton. Katrina Lynn Gagney. Danielle Marie Soleil Gagnon. Colby Charles. Cooper James Guerin. Ashland Rose Gates. Wilton Riley Geisenhainer. Sadie Rose Gendron. Madison Rose Gentes. Julia Marie Gentili. Anthony John Janitsis. Shannon Maria Gifford. Ryan T. Giroux. Caleb Elliott Gorton.
Miles Spencer Green. Kobe E. Gregoire. Kelsey Elizabeth Gregorio. Tad B. Hagner. Damian M. Hamill. Ben Hamill. Kirsten Adriana Harcrow. Daniel James Hazen. Eliza A. Heafield. Jeffrey Hager. Stephanie Hager. Noah Christian Hine. Cameron S. Hilliard. Ellie Marie Hills. Autumn Lee Hirsch. Wyatt Peter Hooker. Anthony Michael Houston. Patrick E. Howarth. Shay Victoria Heward. Aiden Connor Hughes.
Connor James George Hyzak. Kaylee Marie Johnson. Rose Johnson. Christopher Scott Jukes. Kaylee A. Jutris. Thomas J. Kempfer. Mackenzie Lauren May Keller. Cullen Patrick Kendall. Liam Patrick Kilbreth. Mark W. Lajeunesse. Atticus J. Lambert. Natalie J. Lapointe. Eleanor Rose LaRue. Colin Mark Lasella. Timothy R. Lazat. Anna B. Lendry. Aiden Leonard. Alyssa A. J. L. LePage. Tyler Jonathan Lever. Douglas R. Lewis.
Isaac Israel Libis. Samuel Murray Libis. Bowden David Lingley. Liana Faye Lopes. Matthew W. McDonald. Sierra Aline McIntyre. Noah Elon Madison. Alexandria Marie Mayotte. Jack Christopher Mappus. Nathan J. Marchesal. Brandon Riley Martell. Victor P. Martell. Elani M. Marty. Connor James Martin. Nicholas David Martin. Olivia Rose Martin. Rebecca Ashley Matheson. Sarah Lynn Madison. Victoria Faith Moraes. Riley Catherine McGuff.
Patrick Robert McVeigh. Isabel Mejia. Zachary Scott Menard. Kyle S. Marin. Desiree Taylor. Theodore N. Milianis. Philip Lewis Malika. Tyler Kyle X. Morin. Michael Joseph Murdoch. Chloe Normand. Lucas Jules Normand. Jordan M. Notterman. Drew Timothy O'Brien. Samuel Douglas O'Hara. Allison O'Neill. Nicholas Tyler Oak. Alfredo E. Osorio. Austin T. Ostrander.
Ava S. Ostrander. Jacob C. Owen. Chloe Isabella Paradise. Madison Marie Pattenout. Ryan James Peace. Renaud Evans Pelletier. Avery Perry. Chloe Elise Pierce. Kyle Matthew Kennard. Mitchell Plantier. Nathaniel David Reel. Melanie Lise Riendu. Taylor Elizabeth Rivard. Paige A. Robinson. Jocelyn Marie Rosa. Matthew Jordan Rosa. Emily Jean Rourke. Megan Rofiar. Carissa Claire Royer. Jack M. Ruggieri.
Before we continue, we did have one miss. Casey, we're coming to you at the end, so hold tight. We are coming back for Casey at the end. Without further ado, Marcus Wilson Rush. Alyssa Sangelo. Trevor Santoro. Zachary Santos. Seiya Noel Sarvela. David Maxwell Skaki. Elizabeth Jane Scanlon. Haley Marie Scanlon. Savannah Angela Schaefer. Georgia Yvonne Schill. Helen Kiefer Sarah. Jacob M. Siegfried. Alexa Rosemary Skinner. Alexis M. Skipper. Jacob Logan Smith. Tyler K. Summerer. Denise Cecilia Soto. Alexis Elizabeth Susi. Richard L. Sperry. Derek Donald Stekowicz.
Jared Andrew Stile. Allison Jean Stemska. Kaylee Grace Elizabeth Still. Emma Todd Strong. Abigail Sarah Nicole Sudak. Isaac Mitchell Tate. Elena Ann Tapuzaglu. Sean James Tracy. Taylor Noel Tremblay. David John Trinka. Michaela Nicole Turner. Nicholas Lee Zanos. Lee Joseph Valancourt. Noah James Van Gilder. Scarlett Rain Vermette. Jacob Ernest Vines. Kelly O. Walsh. Andrew Wozniak. Maya Elizabeth Whitten.
Cody Thomas Willett. Stuart E. Wills. Helena Marie Winrow. Melanie Rose Volschlager. Bradley Wright. Kelsey James Wynn. Adam Timothy Yaris. Maxwell Robert Young. Adam J. Zenkowitz. And last but certainly not least, and please stay standing until the cameraman finds you, Casey Foytho. Thank you very much for helping with names, Mr. Webb. Graduates, a few announcements before we conclude tonight's ceremony. To be respectful of all graduates and public health recommendations, we have been asked not to throw hats at the end of the ceremony. Please hold on to them. Shortly after tonight's ceremony, as you've heard, with thanks to the class of 2020, we will celebrate tonight's occasion together with a fireworks show. Concluding the ceremony, guests, please remain in your seats. Graduates, you will be dismissed by section to go sit with your families for the fireworks show. No one is allowed to remain on the field. Once your section is called, if you are on the left side of the field, you will follow ushers to the left. And if you are on the right side of the field, you will follow ushers to the right. While you are moving, your face masks should be on, and you should remain physically distanced. Once you are reunited with your families in the stands, you may take your masks off if you are comfortable. Graduates, we are nearly there. Please be sure your tassels are on the right side of your caps. Graduates, please rise. Mr. Webb, would you please do the honors?
This is an honor indeed. Graduates, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left. I am very proud to present to you the unforgettable class of 2020. Congratulations.
Graduates, please take your seats and prepare for dismissal. At this time, graduates with last names alphabetically, Fantaselli through Hyzak, please follow teachers and ushers to your left. Again, graduates with last names alphabetically, Fantaselli through Hyzak, please follow teachers and ushers to your left. Also, graduates with last names alphabetically Sarah through Zinkovitz, please follow teachers and ushers to your right. Again, graduates with last names alphabetically Sarah through Zenkovitz, please follow teachers and ushers to your right. And at this time, graduates with last names alphabetically Dennis through Estano, please follow teachers and ushers to your left. Those of you closest to the stands, please go first. Again, students with last names alphabetically Dennis through Estano, please follow teachers and ushers to your left. Those of you closest to the stands, please go first. Also, graduates with last names beginning with Pierce through Schill, please follow teachers and ushers to your right. Those of you closest to the stands, please go first. Again, graduates with last names beginning with Pierce through Schill, please follow teachers and ushers to your right. Those of you closest to the stands, please go first. And at this time, let's have both baselines cross over onto the warning track and follow the ushers toward the foul poles. Finishing with the graduates, I'll say that in a moment, I'm sorry. At this time, let's have both baselines cross over onto the warning track and follow the ushers toward the foul poles. Finishing with the graduates seated on the infield dirt. At this time, those of you closest to the stands, please follow teachers and ushers as they direct you towards the exits in an orderly fashion. Again, those of you still here, seated on the infield dirt, those of you closest to the stands, please follow teachers and ushers as they direct you towards the exits in an orderly fashion. While you're awaiting your graduates in the stands, While you're awaiting graduates in the stands and looking forward to the fireworks show, at the appropriate time, we're going to give a giant grizzly cheer for Fisher Cats mascot Fungo as he takes the field to set off the show. And as you take your seats, we have a few messages from our congressional delegation to share with you. On behalf of the entire faculty and staff of Goffstown High School, we thank you for being here tonight and for your patience in understanding these past months, and especially tonight. We wish you a happy and healthy summer. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, I'm Congressman Chris Pappas. I know this isn't the graduation that anyone envisioned, especially all of you students who worked so hard to get to this moment. But I'm glad we can get together virtually to celebrate the Goffstown High School Class of 2020. I'm sure you've heard it before, but you are truly graduating during unprecedented times in our nation's history. Although that may come with a lot of unknowns, I hope you realize that there are more opportunities for you to make your mark than ever before. So as you all go forward and face new challenges, I want you to always remember that you have everything you need within you. Now more than ever, our nation and our communities need smart, creative, talented people to make change a reality. And your time here at Goffstown High has put you on the path to make a true difference. I'm inspired by the courage you have all displayed already. and with the resilience, patience, and optimism you have all demonstrated these past few months. Hold on to the triumphs, the joys, and the memories of the last 4 years, and the sense of self and community that you built with your fellow Grizzlies. Congratulations again, and I can't wait to see what all your futures hold.
Hi, this is United States Senator Maggie Hassan. I want to offer my congratulations to the Goffstown High School class of 2020. I know finishing your high school career in the midst of a pandemic is not what you anticipated, but we are all so proud of you for continuing to invest your time and energy into your future, despite these unexpected challenges. It's my hope that you all take a moment to reflect on what you've gained through this experience, be that resiliency, a greater confidence in your ability to adapt, or a new perspective on what you value most. And that you'll take these lessons with you as you embark on your next steps. Between the COVID-19 pandemic, the resulting economic crisis, and the rightful outrage following the senseless murder of George Floyd, you are all graduating during a tumultuous time in our country's history. Getting through this pandemic and building a better future for all Americans, regardless of the color of one's skin, will require continued engagement from young people like yourselves. I have no doubt that you are all well equipped to take on this challenge. So thank you all so much for everything that you've achieved, and I look forward to seeing what more you will accomplish. Stay well and stay safe.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I'm Senator Jean Shaheen, and I'm so pleased to join in celebrating your graduation tonight. I know this is not how you expected to end your high school years. You've been separated from your friends, sports had to be cut short, clubs could no longer meet. You've had to learn from behind a screen instead of in the classroom. But you rose to the occasion with courage and grace. You've been forged into stronger, more prepared graduates by your experience. And no matter what challenges you face in the years ahead, you'll be able to stand proud and firm, knowing that you overcame hard times with a positive attitude and a strong character. Graduates, take the time to savor your success and your achievement. And remember to thank your parents, your friends, your teachers, and all those who brought you to this day. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Goffstown High School class of 2020, go get it.